On today's On Location, we're in southern Otter Tail County. We're fishing with Konnor Kleist. We got out in front of a storm front coming in, and we pounded on the panfish today. Some great gills. Crappies were decent, but man, the gills just were out of sight.
Absolutely. No, it was a fun day. I mean, it was clear that it was pre-front conditions. Those fish, they fed right up to the front, and now that it's here, definitely tapering down.
Yeah, it's done.
It's done.
So here's the basic scenario. Just a basin. They call them, bowls, right? Not a lot of structure out here. Weed line all the way around. Our approach was pretty simple. You can see there's a bunch of people fishing the inner weed line. We took the Mega 360, we hopped around, and we found the isolated weed clumps out away from the anglers, and that main weed line, which by all accounts has probably been beat up pretty good.
It has, and we didn't have to really move around a whole lot. We were able to sit in the same holes. We found a isolated weed bed that kind of had a nice group of fish on it, and we were able to sit there and just kind of pick through using big baits, as you showed was it needed to be done. They needed the bigger baits.
It's always the way I start. Sometimes I end up looking like the smartest guy in the room. Other times I end up looking like an idiot.
Today you did.
Right, smart guy.
Smart guy.
We started out fishing spoons, or I started out fishing spoons. He started out with jigs. They were smashing the spoons from the first drop. Now, anglers very often will think, well, if they're aggressive, they'll hit anything. That's not the way fish work, like ever. They get so keyed in on one presentation versus another. Today they wanted those spoons. It took you probably half dozen fish to get switched over.
I learned.
Yeah, and then you got broke off and you tried a jig. What happened then?
Nothing. Fish were still down there. We're still catching them with the spoons, but with the tungsten and the plastic, waxworm, same kind of bait presentation, just smaller. Fish didn't want it. They'd come up, they'd sniff it, put down, went back to a flash champ. Boom, boom, boom. I was coming right into the front. Those fish wanted bigger baits, and it was evident.
All of my favorite bluegill crappie bites start with fishing a piece of metal. Flash champ over here, 1/32 ounce. Tumbler over here, that's kind of the oddball. It's a 1/12 of an ounce. Both in green UV. That was just the money today, tipping with a wax worm. I think another thing that was really important was to keep that bait really high in the water column. And I mean literally 3-4 feet above bottom. That would give the fish a chance to come in, mass under that bait, then make a decision. And very often, once they were down there for about 10-15 seconds, you could tell they were starting to get a little agitated. They just fire right up. If you kept it near the bottom, they just wouldn't come in under your bait.
No. And those bigger fish too definitely seemed to be up high. A lot of times too, I had fish that would come down on me, and I was still 3-4 feet up. That just shows that those bigger fish, they're up higher, they're cruising, and like you said too, those fish that are coming up to it, they kind of feel comfortable in a sense. They're working their way up to it on their own time, but they definitely like some meat on the end of that bigger spoon, and it was a fun morning.
I like to think of those bluegills as they rise up. They're doing the I gotcha.
Yeah.
Until they don't.
Until they don't. Until we do.
So this is one of those scenarios where the Mega 360 just cut our search time down to almost nothing. You punched a line of holes. I hopped around with the Mega 360, found what we were looking for, camped on what we were looking for, caught fish from start to finish. Yeah. So just an incredible tool. So check this video out. It'll end towards it will air towards, the third week in January. Should be a great show. Konnor Kleist, I like to refer to this man as the bluegill magician. If you're looking for somebody to fish with out here in Otter Tail County, he'll work some magic for you. Look him up. He's always a ton of fun to get out on the ice with. So thanks for tuning in. Make sure you check out the show on Sunday, Fox Sports North.
In-depth outdoors on location, presented by Reed's Family Outdoor Outfitters. Reed's offers the best service, best price, best advice on all your favorite ice fishing gear. Guaranteed. Find them online at reedsports.com.